From now on, we will study about the third of the conjunctive adverb. The first third of the conjunctive adverb is the adverb when. The conjunctive adverb when links the subordinate clause to the main clause with the concurrency that the point in time when the definition of the verb in the subordinate clause is actualized is the same as the point in time when the definition of the verb in the main clause is actualized. The fact that the subordinate clause is linked to the main clause with the concurrency reveals that the experiences, conditions, or actions described by the definition of the verbs in the main clause and the subordinate clause are in the most elemental relationship of time. The subordinate clause and the main clause are linked in the relationship consistent with the continuity in time. The speaker states an experience, a condition, or an action in the main clause with the concurrency of an experience, a condition, or an action that is considered to be actualized in the subordinate clause. So the conjunctive adverb when links the main clause with the subordinate clause that is in the relationship of the prerequisite. The speaker assures that the definition of the verb in the subordinate clause to be actualized. The speaker reveals the relationship between the subordinate clause and the main clause as the continuity in time on the premise that the speaker describes the experience, condition, or action stated in the subordinate clause as a prerequisite for the statement in the main clause. There are 3 sentences. Each subordinate clause is stated in the 3. The subordinate clause of the first sentence is stated in the past tense. The subordinate clause of the second sentence is stated in the present tense. The subordinate clause of the third sentence is stated in the present tense, even though the conjunctive adverb when links the subordinate clause from the concurrency between the verbs in the subordinate clause and the main clause. The condition stated in the main clause is described by the modal verb will to reveal the condition to be actualized in the future. This difference between the tenses in the subordinate clause and the main clause. Let's start from the first sentence. When I watered the plant, I felt good. The order of the subordinate clause and the main clause can be changed into this sentence. I felt good when I watered the plant. We can see that the speaker intends to convey the action described by the transitive verb watered in the subordinate clause ahead of the condition described in the main clause. We can also see the punctuation mark, a comma, to reveal that the statement of the subordinate clause is complete. The speaker links the subordinate clause to the main clause with the conjunctive adverb when. The speaker states the condition of the speaker as the subject, actualized at a point in the past with the transitive verb felt in the main clause. The speaker states the action of the speaker as the subject, actualized at the same point in the past when the condition indicated by the intransitive verb felt in the main clause was actualized with the transitive verb watered in the subordinate clause. This can be understood with the concurrency between the action indicated by the transitive verb watered and the condition indicated by the intransitive verb felt in the main clause. Compared to the sentence stated in the arrangement of the main clause and the subordinate clause linked to the main clause, the speaker who states the experience, condition, or action of the subject in the subordinate clause ahead of the main clause distinguishes the subordinate clause from the main clause with a punctuation mark, a comma. The second sentence is this: when I water the plant, I feel good. The speaker who intends to convey the main intention in the main clause states the sentence like this: I feel good when I water the plant. We can see the tense of the subordinate clause and the main clause accorded as the present tense. This can be appreciable from the concurrency between the subordinate clause and the main clause linked by the conjunctive of verb when. The speaker describes the condition indicated by the intransitive verb feel in the main clause and the action indicated by the transitive verb water in the subordinate clause at the present when the speaker states the sentence. So the main and the subordinate clauses are stated in the present tense.